Hey everybody, welcome to STL TV. I'm Tim Lampley. Today we got the homie in the house. Yes, comedian and actor Joe Torry is here in the studio with us, and I've got a lot to ask him as he makes his way around the country doing stand-up that's sure to make you laugh. And this is not our first time meeting. I've been knowing Joe for years. Take a look at this.
I bet you can, baby. When I was young, my mama used to say, boy.
I first met Joe Torry in the late 1990s through his Giving Back the Love Foundation, a nonprofit charitable organization he established to serve the children of St. Louis. It was his way of inspiring and helping kids and fundraising for community programs in his hometown. Also, it was unlike anything St. Louis had ever seen, with celebrity events featuring such stars as Shaquille O'Neal, Shamar Moore, Shia LaBeouf, Kenan Thompson, Nick Cannon. There was Morris Chestnut, Taraji P. Henson, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, his brother Guy Torry, and Tashina Arnold, just to name a few. It was always a lot of fun when someone would pull Joe into one of my interviews, like this one here with Jaleel White.
Joe, where are you, man? You gotta talk about them teams. You gotta talk about them teams.
It's Joe Torry.
You know, Joe.
He's not on my team.
Joe's a little more than just a host. He's also a shady GM out here this weekend.
Just a few years earlier in Hollywood, the comedian and actor had made a name for himself in standout roles like playing Chicago in 1993's Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson, Tupac Shakur, and Oscar winner Regina King. Over the years, Joe racked up a wide range of credits in both television and film after first appearing in the show Amen. But he really made a name for himself in stand-up comedy, starting out with his big break as host of Def Comedy Jam following Martin Lawrence in 1992.
Please give it up for Joe Torry.
Aside from that, one of Joe's proudest moments was representing the Midwest when he carried the Olympic torch to kick off the 2004 Summer Olympics torch relay in St. Louis.
What's up, y'all? You see what it is, Joe Torry. You see I'm at the crib, baby. I'm in the loop.
Today, Joe continues to work a hectic stand-up schedule, packing them in at comedy clubs throughout the country. Joseph Pierre Torry. Good to see you again, my friend. You didn't think I knew that, right?
Yeah, you got the whole government name.
The whole name. In the video we just saw, there's a picture of some video of you wearing the cowboy hat, right? When you were hosting Def Comedy Jam.
Right.
I saw something on YouTube where Mike Epps sort of roasted you for wearing that hat. I need you to get your lick back.
You know, I got my lick back. It's just short in that clip.
What did you say? I want to know.
I talked about his braids. He had his little. I talked about. You had them little, ghetto braids he was wearing back in the day. I think I called him some girl name or something like that. But he had braids when he started.
He deserved that.
Yeah.
Mike Epps is funny, isn't it?
He's funny.
Yeah. New year, new energy. How would you describe 2025 though for you, and career-wise and maybe personal too?
Well, career-wise and personal-wise, they go together because I'm kind of growing in both. I turned 60 last year.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's,
I'm sure everybody says, now you don't look 60.
Some days, yeah. If I don't shave, don't wash, don't cut you.
In the mirror, like.
Yeah, you look real old. But no, I try to keep up relevant and try to keep healthy as much as I want to, especially going into my fourth quarter of life.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, that's.
Well, but how was the year for you, just in general, as you look back in terms of what you accomplished?
It's exactly what I'm talking about. 4 quarters. Maybe if you realize, I'm in my last quarter. I've been, 1 through 20, 20 through 40, 40 through 60. Now I'm on my way 60 through 80. So what am I saying now to the world? Who am I now? I got a 31-year-old son, a 23-year-old son, a 16-year-old daughter, been in the business 35 years. What am I offering now to the audience to stay relevant after 35 years? And, and that's what made me look at it like, what am I going to 26 for? And that's producing more, that's getting more, adapted to this new AI, to this new gen, whatever it is.
New technology.
New owning my own space.
Before Cedric the Entertainer started to bring things here to St. Louis, and Nelly had his, black and white ball and all that, there was Joe Torry Foundation's Hooping with the Stars.
Yeah.
And you brought everybody here, as I mentioned in the video.
Yeah.
How difficult was that? Because nobody thought that you were going to do that. Even though back in the day, people saw this list of people that you had invited, nobody thought they would actually come to town.
When you think about it, now you think about it, it's like, how did you do it? But at that time, I had, I made a promise to the maker of the universe. You help me be famous, and I'll bring back people. I'll show the glory that you gave me, and that was giving back the love. I'll give back some love. Now, back then, I had a board of like 26, 27 members, so it just wasn't me doing it. It was my sisters, my brother-in-laws, my best friends that were lawyers. I had a team made up of all the clergy and educational people of St. Louis that helped me, understand the needs of St. Louis. So me stealing, or borrowing the Magic Johnson weekend, because Magic Johnson used to always have a weekend in St. Louis, Midsummer Nights. Dominique Wilkins used to have one in Atlanta. So I was like, how can I bring that to St. Louis?
Wait, Magic had one where?
Magic had one in
LA?
Los Angeles,
Okay.
And Dominique Wilkins had one in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So two places I went to, I said, how can I bring that to St. Louis? We don't have, no stars. How can I bring that love and that 4-weekend fun to St. Louis? And I came out with the...
There was so many people there, a lot of sports guys, a lot of entertainers. I met someone who was performing at one of the events, I think maybe halftime or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, you come out to LA, you come hang out. Get out there. And I didn't realize that he had credits in movies that weren't mainstream. Let me just say that.
Right.
So we'll talk about that afterwards. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So, but at the beginning of this whole career, you were inspired by Sammy Davis Jr., right?
Yeah.
And you packed your bags and you decided you were going out to LA. And I like to ask this question because I asked this of Cedric, and it's just interesting. What would you have done if things didn't work out?
No, things have to work out. I don't think like that. That's the only thing I ever wanted to do. So I went to school, studied for, mass communication, journalism, broadcasting. I studied the game of entertainment,
Maybe you've been doing
the business. Doing this. I started doing this. I started anywhere, radio, TV, print. I learned and I studied that. I wrote papers on it, took speech classes. So this is the only thing I ever wanted to do at the end of it. So I there was no backup plan. It was like, I'm going to do this because it can be done.
Once you got there, though, was it what you expected?
Was I expected?
Was LA what you expected it to be?
No. When I got to Los Angeles, it wasn't what you expected because Hollywood is, now they're trying to rebuild it, but Hollywood was trashy, dirty, a lot of, just people sleeping on the streets. I wanted to get an address in Hollywood, and I'm like, you'll be robbed and, probably on dope by the end of the month. Because it was just that, in 1989, it was just that trashy. Now they kind of redid it. But when you get to the working elements of it, no, it wasn't what I thought it was, because you think that, when you go certain places, everybody's, gets with you. And, but in LA, everybody wants to get in front of you. So they don't really support you. You're like in a den of thieves. And you have to understand that at different times that friendship runs out. Talent, especially when people are not as talented as you, they don't want to see you win more than them. And I think that was the hardest thing I think everybody has to face. It's like your brother don't want to see you win. If they're in the same, cast with you, your sister, your people, because they're trying to fight just as you. Everybody's trying to be that star. And that's what I wasn't ready for, but I took it on the challenge, whereas I didn't come here to be the biggest star in the world. I just came here to get a piece of my world and take it back and create my own Hollywood.
But you did find some friends in the business. I think you said that kid from Kid and Play at one time lived with you. Did you date anybody in the business?
Yeah, I've dated a lot of people in the business.
Somebody we know? Give us some names.
Some names. One name that's out there that, Dina Howard, I used to date back in the day. So, yeah, that was in the 90s. That was a nice, nice little on and off relationship
Then. But you've been married for quite a while now.
Yeah.
How many years?
Oh, 25, something like that. Yeah, since 2011. Yeah, it's been.
So speaking though of your time in LA, so you were on the set of House Party at one time. I think that was was that your first time being on the set, but you didn't have speaking role?
Not the first. The first time
House Party.
Robin Harris was here. He was still with us, and then I kind of snuck into the lunchroom and figured out where the cameras were and was there doing extra work. And, by the third or second day, I was like, I'm going to get in this movie some kind of. So I positioned my seat behind where the action was, and that was my first time on film in House Party. The third time, because I wasn't in the second one, it was in Atlanta. Pajama Jammy Jam, but I was doing something else, so I didn't show up on that one. But
And then you were in House Party 3.
I just showed up on the set to support and ended up in the...
But here's the thing. The first House Party was produced and directed by homies from St. Louis,
Yes,
too,
yes,
right?
yes.
So why didn't you go to the Hutland brothers, Reggie and Warrington, and say, look, here's what it is, brother, y'all from where I'm from,
Well,
put me in this thing.
The first one was theirs. First one was theirs.
Yes.
First one was theirs. The next one
And
was...
that's the one where you didn't have a speaking role.
Well, I didn't know them. I didn't know them at
But
that
you
time.
knew they were from St. Louis,
I
right?
did not know Reggie
You
and
did not
Warrington
know
at that
this.
time. No,
From St. Louis area, I should say.
I had just got to Los Angeles. Perfect timing. That's why you say your prayers, to be at the right place at the right time, because they were doing Harlem Nights at the same time. So I got to meet Red Fox from St. Louis. All the stars. Sammy Davis Jr. walked past me on the set one time. Richard Pryor, I got the chance to see him, get to meet Eddie. And then, same time, like I said, that movie right there, that was the same year.
Wow. And it's interesting, I thought, when I found out that there was an accident that could have derailed all of that.
Oh, yeah.
That you were in, was that right before you came to LA, went to LA?
Yeah. Really, in college, got into a big car accident coming, back from, wilding out at the end of the school year. We made this trip
In college years.
1,000 times,
Right.
going from Missouri back to Lincoln University, 'cause I went to Lincoln University, graduated.
But you walked away with minor injuries?
I mean, yeah, I walked. I had like stitches over my body and stuff. Some people came out of it a little bit, more damaged than me. But
Did you kind of, in retrospect, look back at that and think,
yeah,
how did I survive that, and did that propel you to work harder at sort of making your mark in the world?
those were one of the moments. You get flashes in life where, like it happened to me as a kid. My dad ran me over.
On purpose?
No, I wasn't supposed to be outside.
What'd you do?
Just pulled it to the outside, going down, and we had a little in California. You had this little garage that went down into things. So we was on our skateboard on our back, and we weren't supposed to be outside. My father just pulled in, and my brother ran
And let me just
inside.
say, in California, because you were a military brat, so he wasn't from St. Louis
At that time.
Yeah.
At that time. Wasn't from there.
Yeah.
And just a bad kid, and everybody ran in the house instead of saying, Joe! And my father pulled up over me. And, luckily I was small enough and the car had enough rise where I came crawling
Jeez.
out. But that was my first time to say, man, do right and, just flash. So that's another time, you know what I'm saying? I was out doing wrong and, you know what I'm saying? Your life is precious when you don't.
But God was watching you, right?
All the time.
Family of 6.
Yes.
And I've met many of your siblings.
Yep.
So Malaka, I know. Roberta, I got to know during the Who with Stars. And Guy, I've seen out recently in New York City. But that's not, the first person that I met was the coolest. So it was your dad.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And he saw me on Channel 5 here in town. I was doing news then. And he came over and recognized me, and I didn't have to ask about getting into anything that you were throwing at that point, because Pops had my back, right?
Had your back, yeah.
And just the coolest guy.
Wow. 60, we call him 64 Charlie, but yeah, he's because he don't like everybody, he don't take to everybody, so he must have saw that glow, and you guys were attracted to each other.
About 11 to 12 years ago, he passed away.
Yeah, going on 12 years.
And did losing, and then your mom recently, right?
Yes.
Did losing your parents bring you guys closer together or farther apart in terms of your siblings?
Oh, no, closer together. Yeah, we were blessed to have a unit with, my mother was a school teacher, he was military, education, discipline, so we got to see a close-knit family, and every time, even when my father was getting sicker, we became closer, because everybody pitching in, trying to, spend their last days with them. And that just makes us closer, so and then since the pandemic era, you get Zoom. So we have weekly and things of Zoom, on Zoom. So the last days of our mom, we was always getting her on and getting everybody on and getting each other's face. So we still do that religiously, like every day. There's a text going out to us that somebody sending a Bible verse or a good old verse or a happy birthday, because Guy's birthday was yesterday. So there's always that we're making our mother and our father proud. That
I see how close you were to both your parents, but who was funnier?
My dad. My dad was funnier, and then my mom, and then it comes me. So if you want to rate the family, my dad, my mom, and then me, and then there's Guy.
When did they really realize that you were a celebrity?
I think when I put the weekend together, when I brought people here that that they understood, and some of their heroes instead of everybody else, like Uncle Phil, James Avery. You know what I'm saying? You hear Moses
He's now
Malone.
passed away, yeah.
Yeah, he's passed away a lot of them. Like, from Temptations, Ollie Woodson. Because I try to bring somebody from every era. Not just for the kids, but for somebody for everybody. And I had somebody for everybody.
Nick Cannon, before he really blew up, right?
Yeah, Taraji, Fox, Shmore Moore. I mean, a lot of people, man. Dean Cain, Superman, So even Shaq came before he even won all the championships.
Before he had a ring, before he had his first ring. Yeah. Certainly starring with Janet Jackson in Poetic Justice also probably made them sit up and say, he's made it.
Because I think Regina King and Tupac, we were all, Regina was on her level above us.
She wasn't the Oscar winner.
She wasn't, or the director,
right.
But she was known. But that movie right there.
How did you end up at Janet's house? Take me through that.
Oh man, Janet was very nice. Janet was very professional, always nice, one of the nicest persons you ever want to meet, and invited us to her Malibu house just on, when we were in town, come out and jet ski and she'd barbecue, and she actually taught me how to even stay in shape more, how to build a gym in my house and keep myself in shape. She was never like off duty because she would throw this party and then she would disappear for like an hour. And you're like, where's Janet? And then you look around, and one time I went upstairs, and she had a gym, built in her house, and her trainer was up there. And you pick up some real professional habits from superstars.
And then there's Tupac.
Yes.
This year will mark the 30th anniversary of his death.
Yeah.
And he died, I think, when he was around 25, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think so many people are fascinated with his life still? And you get a lot of questions about him.
Yeah. Well, for one, so many people think he was a martyr for his era and his style. When he preached what he said, and for some other people, he was right. He was healing. His music is healing. They're teaching it in some colleges right now because he was poetry, way before his time. But I think he came at the right time that people were listening because that was the conscious era.
What do you really remember about him? I think I interviewed Marlon, who says he called him Palmolive hands or something. He said his hands were so
soft,
right? And he said he got this thug who's like with these nice hands, right?
Well, Tupac was not a thug. He was an artist.
Right.
Yeah,
well, I think it wasn't that he was, but the persona.
The persona of him, but he wanted to act and direct. That's what he was moving into. He was trying to get away from all of that and act and direct. That's why you start seeing him do films that were, that you saw him doing, that dealt with things that wasn't thuggish. Because and you can see that even with you saw his skills with Poetic Justice. He played that role a whole lot better than what I think Ice Cube would have played it, because Ice Cube didn't want to be a romantic, and to pull it off, thug, romantic, kind of at the same time, takes skill.
And you watched a lot of the greats growing up and doing stand-ups. All right, who would you say are the top three, not entertainers, but more specifically comedians, who are no longer here?
Oh, well, Dick Gregory, for one.
Dick Gregory?
Right here, yeah.
Would you put Richard Pryor there?
Yeah, well, in no certain order, but Dick Gregory, Richard Pryor, Red Fox.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That, I mean, that, and then, and who kind of shaped me too, George Carlin, who, those influenced me when I was growing up as far as that, Bill Cosby, how to flip it, how to own it, how to talk it, how to be clean, but who kind of helped me, who I met and was good to me. Richard Pryor, Red Fox, I had a chance to meet.
And of course, Robin Harris.
And yeah, late
was your man, I hear.
My mentor, yes, sir. Yeah.
And then there was John Witherspoon, who was funny as all get out when you go down the line there, right?
Yeah, when you keep going down the line, I had a chance to be on film with a lot of talented, or get to meet, be in a room with a lot of talented actors, and John Witherspoon from Sprung, and I think with
the Bang Bang Bang,
Bang Bang,
took him everywhere. Yeah. Like my boy George Wallace, who did the mama jokes. They had their signature thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, 3 comedians who are here now, top 3.
That are right now, top 3? They're in no certain order. You know what I mean?
Let's do top 3. Let's do.
don't
not in a certain order, but give me 3 that you think are just really at the top of their game.
Of course, Dave Chappelle. You know, he's grown into, you know, a conversationist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I judge it sometimes. You know, people don't know there's levels of this. There's comics, there's comedians, and there's conversationalists.
Okay.
Then there's
Dave
entertainers.
Chappelle.
You know what I'm saying? So, and you have to groove to be a conversationist where you can just come out and sit and talk and people take you on your word. So, you know, you got your Chris Rock.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You got D.L. Hughley. You got Sid the Entertainer, man. Come on, man. You know, you take my guys.
So what about Cat Williams and Eddie Murphy?
Well, Eddie's not doing it anymore.
Kevin Hart.
Eddie's not doing it anymore. Kevin is Tim's a different type of comedian. Kevin is Kevin.
Uh-huh.
Kevin is not going to get political. He's not going to get religious. He's going to be self-defecating himself all the time. He's going to talk about him. So we
can't leave out my boy George Wallace because you know.
Well, no, George is there, but you put it in the top 3 now. But Cat is Cat. Cat is
Did you watch the Club Shay Shay interview?
Yeah, I watched Club Shay Shay. Yeah.
He didn't talk about you.
No,
but he talked about a lot of folks.
I mean, you know, I don't. I try to be on that frequency where you want to talk about me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do, then I got to see you.
You've been in the business for more than 30 years, right?
Over 35 years now. Yeah.
You've never really been recognized for your talent in the way that some people that you started out with have been. Does that bother you at all?
No. Because it's what you know, it depends on what their picture is and what my picture is and what my vision of what I want to be. You know what I mean? Like I practically, you know, got Jamie Foxx as agent and, you know, helped him. I was his mentor, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Look at Jamie now.
But that's my point. Like, he's got an Oscar, right?
Yeah, but I don't.
They've got Hollywood Walk of Fame things, and you know your talent.
Yeah.
And you know you are as talented as anyone else out there. So do you ever think about that and say, well, how does this guy get?
No, because
and not only Jamie, but
well, not Jamie. There's your way and there's Hollywood way. So you know, you play by Hollywood rules, and you play by their rules most of the time. Yeah, you get that. You stay that way, you know, and then or you play by your own rules. I've always wanted to make my own Hollywood, so I don't need an Oscar, I don't need Grammys, I don't need all that, because every time I go out on the road and being successful, sold out capacity or audience is full, and those are my Oscars, those are my Grammys, those are my things that, you know, that I do by myself as a comedian. Mm-hmm. See, as an actor, or I have to be somebody else's voice, somebody else's, you know, example of what that character is, and then prove it to the world. Which, you can do if that's what you want to do, but, you know, I mean, that can come if I challenge myself to play some of those roles. But some of these roles I don't like. Some of those roles I won't do. You know, just because, you know, as who I am as a man, some of them roles I think you can get somebody else to do. Because that wasn't my true game. I'm not a true theater cat. You know what I mean? That's Denzel. Went to school and went to Juilliard. Now, I can transform to be those things, but, I ain't dead yet. You know what I'm saying? If they happen, they happen. Cool. But if not, I'm just happy to be able to do what I did with Getting Back to Love. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of challenging roles, though, what happened with the Miles Davis?
Oh, it's still coming. Miles is coming. See, the way Hollywood has changed so much now.
He's a hometown person too.
Yeah, but the way Hollywood is doing films now, you know, it's because there's an era of films they don't accept no more to be considered for, you know what I'm saying, a nomination.
So explain that, though. You are working on putting together a documentary or a...
my own platform.
Miles.
My own platform, my own Tubi, my own Netflix, my own Amazon, my own Hulu.
Got it.
It's called Soul TV. My own network. My own STL TV.
You know, that's probably the best way to now sort of navigate this career, right?
Yeah.
You know, one of the things, too, I've never seen you in is I always thought that you'd be great in those the sort of period pieces way back before the civil rights. Never seen you in 12 Years a Slave or Underground or or Harriet. None of those with, you know.
Listen, it's a lot of things that I can say that I, you know, like.
But you'd be one of the rebellious ones, I'm sure.
Yeah, but.
Your character.
Put it like this, the opportunity for Jerry Maguire. I had that chance.
Which character?
to show me the money to part Cuba played. I didn't even go in for the part. I turned it down because, you know, I was kind of burnt out. And the way the character read, you know what I'm saying, it read to be so tall and so like Michael Irvin. And they used to send me in so many roles where I'm like, I'm only 5'8", man, I'm not gonna get this part. I ain't flying back to LA for that. I read for Pulp Fiction. Sam Jackson part, but I always looked too young. I'd go on there and it'd be Wesley's picture and Lauren's picture, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get this. So I knew, but I had to be in the process of just getting in the room and knowing them, and they'll put you in certain things. So I always read for top stuff, but they'll give you something else. So, you know, so that's a game you can play, but as a comedian, when I got burnt out in Hollywood, I go on the road. I'm saying, I'm not gonna play that role, I'm not gonna take that part, and I'm not gonna do this. And when you stand up like that, you know, they remember that.
Certainly blessed to have that talent, to be able to pivot.
To pivot and go somewhere else and then come back and do your own thing. So, you know, that's...
And you were working on a book too at one point, right?
Yeah, still working on a book, It's so much stuff that comes out right now, the way the game changes. Like now you have micro dramas, you know what I'm saying? So that may be the way I may do Miles Davis. So, because people are listening different. The book, now you can do it audio instead of just the regular way of writing it, because people don't read no more. You know what I mean? So now you have to put it in a thing that will get their attention that quick. Because, you know, 7 seconds and they're on to something else.
And I know what the title was before, but what would you call it now? Business of Show? What?
Well, the first book was supposed to be called, you know, Family Business Friend and Friends, Family Business Friends Friends, after, you know, talking all that, and I changed it. Then it was POV, and now I think I might just call it 4 Quarters of Life.
4 Quarters of Life. I like that. Tell me about this new stand-up tour, because you're apparently going out. Is it DJ Cut coming with you, or just tomorrow? And then you got your son on the road with you,
right,
which is just a whole different dynamic in terms of when you got a father and son acting like they're brothers, or just friends. It's a whole different thing. So tell me about this whole new sort of comedy stand-up.
Well, he's putting them out. My son's been doing comedy like 8 years now. And I say, you know, it's 8 years? Yeah, he's been funny maybe like 2 of them. But, you know, but trying it out and finding it in his own way, his own style. He's been trying and getting up there. And then sometimes it takes a while. So to put him on the road.
You think he can be funnier than you one day?
No, because you can't be funny to me. That's impossible, you know, in his own way. But I'm, you know, I mean, I'm, and I tell people this: I'm naturally funny, meaning I can wake up.
You're the one showing him wax on, wax off, right? You're the master.
Well, hey, listen, now you know what Dion goes through with kind of, you know, seeing his sons and figuring out, you know, how to talent and get them into the game and to be that. But you're on stage by yourself, so you have to be you, and it's a blessing to see that I can hand down the business to my kids, you know, and hand them something, because I'm like, I do entertainment. So if I did, you know, if I was Kraft or, you know, Heinz, get in here and make your own mustard sauce or make your own mayonnaise. But this is entertainment, so get in this kitchen and make your own entertainment.
Well, you know, interesting that you did encourage him to go into the business, because a lot of people who do what they do don't really want their kids doing the same thing, because they know so many details about the challenges.
But it's different now, because if you can control your own destiny, now they're growing up into technology and learning how to produce themselves. So now it's not the old way of, I don't want you to be a star, I don't want you to this on you. No, you can create your own movement, you can write your own stuff, you can do everything I did, and I just showed you can do it. So once you see it can be done, do it. And you can do it even quicker now. You can do it with AI. You can do it on your phone. You don't need a whole studio. All you need is you and the belief in you.
Thank you for coming out. Tell me where you're going to be next. After you leave here, where are some of the other towns you're going to? I'm
going to Chicago, and then I'm going back to LA, finish another film I got to do. Then I'm into Sacramento. I can go to the website and see most of the other stuff I'm going, because I got a lot of tours happening in the Bahamas. That's a cruise, Barbados, the DR, the golf tournament, a comedy show. But my word to everybody that's trying to do this is to find the God in you, because everybody got it in them, the G-O-D. You are the generator, the operator, and the designator or the destroyer of your day. And once you make that better and you make that decision every day, that's the only decision you need. That's the only person you need, is yourself.
I love it. Joe, thank you again for coming out. Be sure to catch Joe Torry at a venue in your neck of the woods this year. Shout out to Queen Khadija Amira for making us look so good today. Happy New Year, everybody. Goodbye.